What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. We are 6 weeks into the Bill Belichick era at North Carolina? Hey, it's me, Billy B. We are 6 weeks into this ongoing flaming ass fire, and the fire department in Chapel Hill has already been called. They are bringing out the supersized hose to extinguish this flaming ass fire. 6 weeks into what was supposed to be a legendary era in North Carolina, and it's already over. Well, Uncle Casey, that's not true. Billy still has the job. He's going to be coaching later tonight when they get their ass kicked by the People's Republic of California. Yeah, I hope you get some good pictures. I hope you savor the memory of Bill Belichick on the sideline tonight, because it is entirely possible that it's going to be the last time that we see it. There are 20 different types of divorce, but for the most part, divorces fall into one of two categories. A contested divorce where both sides are fighting. Maybe the wife wants to divorce while the husband is trying to revive a marriage that ended years ago. And an uncontested divorce, an amicable divorce, where both sides agree that this sucks. Both sides agree that it's just time to move on. In the case of Bill Belichick in North Carolina, I think we're going to see an amicable divorce. Both sides seem to understand this ain't working. The other day, one of my channel members made what I thought was an interesting comparison. He compared Bill Belichick to Howard Stern, and it makes a lot of sense. In the past, when we have discussed Howard Stern here on the channel, I have told you guys that one of the reasons Howie refuses to retire, one of the reasons that he continues with his radio show, even though no one is listening to it, which, by the way, did you guys notice how fast Howard Stern disappeared from the mainstream news cycle? When Howie started that rumor that he was fired by SiriusXM, it was a major story for weeks. Howie spent weeks promoting his immaculate return. The rumors I started had put me back in the headlines for the first time in years. I'll be back in September, and Howie will squeeze the wiener and give you all the juicy details. Throughout most of August, Howard Stern was a major story. Then as soon as he makes his immaculate return, no one cares. Anyway, when we talk about Howie here on the channel and his refusal to acknowledge that his radio career is over, I often explain how men have a very hard time letting go of their careers. With legends, with high achievers, it's even worse. LeBron James is going to be 41 in December. He's still playing basketball even though he knows he really has no chance to win a championship. Ric Flair was wrestling in his 60s. Hell, I think he had another retirement match a few years ago in his 70s. During the final years of his career, Drew Brees could barely throw the ball 10 yards. Even though he won a Super Bowl, Peyton Manning was pretty much atrocious during his last year in the NFL. People often ask, why? Why do men hang on when everyone, including themselves, knows it's over? And the answer is rather simple. Men often become addicted to their work. Our careers become a large part of our identity. It physically and mentally bothers me when something out of my control prevents me from being here on the channel. Earlier this week, when AT&T was having problems with upload speeds, it bothered me all day. I had trouble going to sleep Wednesday night because the problem wasn't resolved, and I didn't know if I was going to lose another day on Thursday. So I understand why Bill Belichick is still coaching. I understand why Bill Belichick's having a hard time letting go. When you love something, When you have spent your entire life building something, nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to take it away from you, except Father Time. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about crying Ryan Clark and his forced, pathetic apology to Louisiana State Police. I explained why I believe ESPN forced Ryan Clark to apologize, and why his apology should not be enough to save his job at the worldwide leader in woke. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. 5 or 6 years ago, Bill Belichick was regarded as the best coach in NFL history. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. If you don't believe me, go ask Spence Rattler. Most of the time, the teams that win in the NFL are the teams that don't make mistakes. In the NBA, mistakes in the first quarter rarely cost you a game. In the NFL, a missed extra point in the first quarter can be the difference between winning and losing. It is incredibly difficult to win in this league. And Bill Belichick did it 19 consecutive years. The New England Patriots are arguably the greatest dynasty of all time. 4 or 5 years ago, Bill Belichick's legacy was cemented, but today? When people think of Bill Belichick today, they think of the dude that ran off Tom Brady. They think of the dude from the Metamucil commercial who is dating a woman young enough to be his great-granddaughter. And now we've got the ongoing disaster at North Carolina where everyone involved is begging to end this misery. North Carolina is 2-3, likely to be 2-4 after tonight. In their 3 losses, Billy B is losing by an average of 29 points. Translation? He's getting his ass kicked. Their only wins came against Charlotte and something called Richmond. To make matters worse, the program is an unorganized disaster. Recruiting violations, which I didn't know was even possible anymore, with players getting paid and with the NCAA being an unregulated mess, I didn't know there were rules anymore to break. Earlier this week, local media in North Carolina published a lengthy report on the widespread dysfunction. They're accusing Bill Belichick of giving preferential treatment to players that he recruited personally. Allegations of nepotism within the coaching staff. Supposedly, the Patriots wanted to send scouts to North Carolina to scout players for the NFL draft. Bill Belichick block them from coming, which means Bill Belichick is taking away potential opportunities from his players to play in the NFL. Why? Because he's pissed off with Patriots owner Robert Kraft. There have been numerous reports this week that Bill Belichick was going to get fired. But KC, he has a $20 million buyout. Not anymore, he doesn't. Thanks to the recruiting violations that Bill Belichick refused to deny or fight, it puts him, I guess, in breach of contract, which means North Carolina can fire him without paying the buyout. If Bill Belichick wanted to keep the job, I would imagine that he would fight the allegations. At minimum, it would make him $20 million richer if he was fired. But more than likely, it would keep him employed. But for some reason, Bill Belichick seems to have no interest in fighting it. I wonder why. According to The Ringer, Bill Belichick could potentially pay $1 million just to quit his job. Supposedly, he wants out of North Carolina so bad, he is willing to pay $1 million of his own money just to get the hell out of there. According to The Ringer, if he can find a job in the NFL or if he can find a job in the media, Billy is willing to pay to leave North Carolina. I don't see Bill Belichick finding a job in the NFL, at least as a head coach. After the Patriots fired him last year, I think he interviewed with the Falcons. There were rumors that he was interested in coaching the Saints. Problem is, no one wanted him. There wasn't a market for a 73-year-old coach, especially a 73-year-old head coach that is notoriously difficult to work with. You see, winning masks everything. When you're winning, you can get away with preferential treatment. You can get away with violations like Deflategate or having spies in the stadium to steal the opponent's signals. When you're winning, no one cares that you're dating a woman that's young enough to be your granddaughter's daughter. You can get away with being cantankerous. You can get away with being bitter. You can get away with being difficult. But as soon as you start losing, those quirks become problems, and the problems become magnified. 5 years ago, Bill Belichick ran Tom Brady out of New England. Since their divorce, Tom Brady's won a Super Bowl, has had multiple appearances in the playoffs, while Bill Belichick has a record of 31-41 with one playoff appearance, which was a loss in the wild card round in 2021. Without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is 67-82. What's happened over the last few years? Tom Brady has maintained his GOAT status while the polish has melted off the Bill Belichick turd. Instead of being viewed as a genius, instead of being viewed as the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick is viewed as the guy who ran off Tom Brady. He's viewed as the guy who won because of Tom Brady. He's viewed as the coach who destroyed the Patriots dynasty. And now he's credited with the ongoing disaster in North Carolina. And I think it is eating Bill Belichick alive. I think it bothers him. I think it bothered him that Robert Kraft fired him after all those years of winning. I think it bothers him that Tom Brady receives all of the credit. And he's been trying to prove ever since that he is the genius. Unfortunately, the only thing Bill Belichick has accomplished is the destruction of his own legacy. I don't see Bill Belichick finishing this season at North Carolina. And once he quits or gets fired, I don't see Bill Belichick getting another job. I think he's coming to the realization that it's over. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.